Here's exactly how I made $2,200 from just 47 minutes of work. And before anyone says I'm capping, don't worry, I have the receipts. So here's the first payment of 1.7K, and you can see I can actually click on it. It's a real link that I'll probably have to blur because my bank account. And then the second one, which is 500 bucks, just also came in. And here's that, which once again, I'll probably have to blur. But the receipts are there, $2,200 in just 47 minutes of work. And what's crazy is that I did this without having to ship low quality products from China or effectively gamble on the stock market, because this isn't your typical side hustle. It's a hidden business model that nobody else is talking about right now. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can copy and paste what I did for yourself within the next 10 minutes. See, the most in-demand skill and the fundamental building block of any online business is content. If you actually want to make money online, there's no getting around it. You must do content. But here's the common beginner trap that most people get stuck on. They simply become video editors working for 20 to 30 bucks a pop, and ultimately their entire day is just trying to keep clients happy and typing on the desk and editing for 15 hours. I used to do that too, so don't worry if it's you right now, but eventually I realized that people making real money online aren't doing the actual labor. They're building systems and getting paid for their content strategy. And that's officially how I started the business model of content operating. Instead of being a video editor who just makes videos all day, you instead flip the model. You simply build a content system for your client using AI, the hooks, the topics, the posting rhythm, and then you outsource the actual work to a video editor. You manage the process and you become an operator, not an employee. And that's why content operators get paid between $3,000 and $10,000 per month, because clients don't just want videos, they want results. Also, this way you actually have leverage, so you aren't stuck working at a desk all day and you're optimizing for the metric business owners actually care about, which is revenue. So I'm going to show you exactly how this works and then break down how I made 2.2K in just 47 minutes of work, and finally the exact next steps you should take to make between $5,000 and $10,000 per month content operating, even if you're a complete beginner. All right, so we've just hopped on the computer here and I'm going to show you exactly what I do for my client Nathan. We're almost at 1 million followers, and essentially you can see all these videos here I manage.
Nobody carries more stress than those of us who feel the potential that we have but are not.
And I don't edit these videos actually, I just outsource it to a video editor, and instead as a content operator, I manage the process. I make sure everything is on time, it's done smoothly, and overall set a content direction and strategy so Nathan can actually make money from these videos selling here in his bio. Essentially, as his content operator, Nathan pays me out. So let's sign in here just to show you some of the payments. Let's see here, this is one of my payment processors, and essentially you get paid at the beginning of the month, a base pay, and then on top of that, at the end of the month, a percentage of the sales generated from the content. So let's scroll down, let's go to transactions. Let's let it load, and here we go. We have one payment for the month at 8.4K. And that's exactly how it works, guys. It's not rocket science, it's really simple. And I'm gonna break down the process, but really quickly, just to actually shove it in your head, what's the most important metric, guys? Is it views or is it sales? Like, what do clients actually care about? And the answer is obviously the red pill. Whoa, I zoomed in way too much. Sales. Because, let me ask you, would you rather have 1 million views or $1 million in the fucking bank, right? It's pretty obvious. And essentially, social media is profitable as hell. This is one of my friends, Simon. He only has 8,000 followers, and I asked him, how much money did you make from Instagram last month? He made $36,000. So this is the conclusion. You don't need millions of followers like Nathan. You can find a client like Simon, and imagine, just taking like 5 to 10% of this. That's between 1.5K and 3K just from the month's work, on top of, remember, a base that the client will pay us at the beginning of the month. And the reason why we're red pilling this is because the truth is no one wants to be broke. You could have 10 bajillion views, but if you don't make a single cent, it's kind of worthless for you. At the end of the day, this is what business owners care about. So here are the two payments, and let's break down exactly how I made each one of them and why it took me only 47 minutes. So essentially, first off, we're going to start with this 1.7K payment. And what I did is a simple $9 aesthetic for one of my clients, Dan Bulgarian. Now, basically what the $9 is, the mobile view of an Instagram page. And the reason this matters is because your Instagram page as a content operator, as a client, as a creator, as a business is your online resume. So the same way you go to a job interview and you give them the resume, it has your GPA, it has your credentials, it has your extracurricular activities, blah, blah, blah. It's like that, but for Instagram, because people judge a book by its cover. When they go look at your page, when they think of Dan, they think of Ladies Man, and he sells a dating program. So we want to showcase that he's the best guy in the world when it comes to women and female attraction, so that his program can sell better. And that's my job as a content operator, to set the content strategy. And it starts off with having a good profile page, a good resume. And essentially, you can see here all these pictures, except this one, are candid, which basically means he's in the moment. It doesn't look like he's posing for a photo. It looks like he's actually living out the life he claims that he is. And that's our goal, to make him look high perceived value, make him look like a professional so people take him seriously. And you're wondering, like, that's it? Like, you got paid 1.7K, $1,700 to just do a 9 box? And the answer is yes. It's yes, because if you have a really good resume, bro, that could be the difference between making 50K a year or 100K a year. But if your resume doesn't showcase all of your skills, it doesn't look professional, you're not going to get a good job. And the same thing here. Clients judge a book by its cover. Why are you guys even watching this video? You like the thumbnail on my YouTube channel, or you've seen me on Instagram, and my Instagram looks professional. If I was a nobody, would you be listening? Hell no. And that's why it works. So essentially, I just got sent over an approved imagery folder, and I put this together. And what I was mainly looking for is the bottom. I wanted to make it look more professional, like he's selling something. You know, there's some mechanisms to what he's teaching, like the mistake most men make, rejection proof, indirect approach. And then here, I just wanted to show him in action with girls around him, because if it was just him playing poker or you know, in a helicopter, would that really signal, okay, we have a program we want to sell you on dating and female attraction? No, it wouldn't. And clients pay really big numbers for this because they know it matters. It's the difference between making 50K a month and 100K a month, right? Because we make more than a job. It's a really big difference. And why does it matter? Because once again, people judge a book by its cover. Let's look at my Instagram page. Real quick, by the way, this is where we put it on, the Sigma Society. You can see Dan actually follows it. I manage this account. It's basically like a satellite account because we don't want to directly pitch on his main Instagram to make it look really salesy. Typically, I do recommend that though with smaller clients, but with someone like Dan who has 30 million followers, sometimes it's best to do a little more indirect. And essentially, I've also edited like all these videos, everything, but I'll save that for another video. I'm just showcasing how we made 2.2K in 47 minutes, and that was the first payment. But going back to what I was going to say, look, imagine I had 10 followers. Just imagine that. You would still probably work with me just because I look like a professional. I look like a credible person in space. I definitely know what I'm talking about. Versus, let's say I had no profile picture, no bio, and no images. I look like a bot. And at the end of the day, clients buy from you as a person and your reputation, not your service. Because look, you're not Apple. You're not a huge conglomerate company that your brand speaks volumes of your products. No. People buy from people, especially as a content operator, so it's within your best interest to actually improve your image online and look like an authority in the content operating space, specifically in the niche you select. So whether that's e-commerce, whether that's dating like with Dan, whether that's fitness, you pick one and stick to it, and that way you can beat 50% of the competition, and then you beat the other 50 by making your profile the best it can possibly be. And like, I'll even prove it. Like, I get a lot of DMs of people trying to work with me. Like, for example, Vasu, hey Emil, I've been following your journey as a content operator. He wants to scale my content by building a small team of clippers who repurpose my videos. Which, by the way, guys, clipping sucks because, once again, it's optimizing for views, not actual money, because clipping is just trying to go viral. But that's a horrible business model. Either way, like this profile, even though it has 10 followers, let's say I had 100,000, I still wouldn't work with him. Because first off, I can't even see him. Like, it's a nice profile picture, sure, but his bio just says creator, and I don't even know. Like, he could be a fake profile for all I know. Like, imagine I had 10 followers. You would still probably pick me over Vasu here, just because it's more well built out. And I don't want any excuses. Oh, Emil, like, you're in nice places. I don't have the money to travel. Bro, I took pictures in my remote mountain village in Bulgaria when I was dead broke. Like you can see the windows are broken, like the grass is growing through the sidewalk, but I made it look post-apocalyptic. I made it look like a vibe, and I got some great comments. Like we got Lynn, he's a famous movie director here. Also did a lot of work with him. But I think you guys get the point. Your social presence matters because you're building authority and social proof, and that's why I was paid 1.7K, and this took me approximately like 30 minutes, something like that, 32 minutes. I mean, I just had to literally pick the photos that showcased him like, you know, a top tier ladies man without making him look too try hard. Like imagine if the photo was like this, right? Would you buy from that? No, it doesn't look good. But these are the little differences that make the biggest impact at the end of the day, because people don't really think about that. They just have their Instagram page, they post, but it's all consumer psychology, which once again is what content operating is. Making decisions that drive purchasing behavior to your clients' businesses through your content, through the 9-box aesthetic, the first 9 photos that people see on their mobile view when they look at your Instagram page. And on top of that, I also used some pictures from Pinterest just to fill in some gaps. Like this one right here was from Pinterest, and the rest were the approved imagery. So I think that pretty much covers it. We can move on to the second one. But yeah, that was the biggest payment, 1.7K for 30 minutes. Now, the remaining 17 minutes, 20 minutes? Okay, maybe 50 minutes total, not 47. But either way, we got my man Steven, who paid me $500 for a 20-minute call. Why? Well, remember, content operators don't pitch on output, they pitch on expertise. And because I've positioned myself as an expert, and once again, like just disregard the followers. If I had 10 followers, I would still look professional. And I know that for a fact because I have a student of mine that became a content operator. He made $10,000 and he only has 100 followers, 174 followers. So it just goes to show you at the end of the day, you don't really need to be a mega influencer. This guy looks professional as hell. Obviously, there's some like tweaks to be made here, and the 9-box could be a lot better. But at the end of the day, it is much better than Ansu like we showed earlier. And my man Steven paid me $500 just because he was interested in a content strategy. So this is his Instagram account, and he basically talks about trading and like AI automation. And he basically sent me a message saying, my main goal is to boost lead generation. I think he misspelled it, but he meant to say lead. Notice how his main goal isn't I want views. I get around 4 million a month on my Instagram page. The cool thing is that a lot of my content is exactly the same. I just make slight tweaks and reposts. I want to replicate it on different pages on the platform. I'm open to whatever strategy. So he wants lead generation and he wants strategy. Once again, clients want content operators, not video editors, because frankly, they can get editing done for like $4 an hour from India. It doesn't actually help them. And then I shot him a quick response, just asking him for more information, what exactly he's doing, how much money he's making. And I think he ended up telling me he makes $100K a month. And we can pull up his Instagram here. Here it is. He makes around $100,000 a month from his page, and he talks about stocks.
Driving me absolutely crazy.
As you can see here on this website, on September 12th,
So yeah, Elon Musk, Tesla, you guys get the point. And then I think he has like an AI bot that trades for you. But pretty much, he said that he's confident and he's willing to pay me more money the more I can deliver. As in, the more leads or people interested in his content I can get to purchase from him from the content I make. And basically saying if there's a way to start in the 5 to 10K per month range, it'd be probably ideal. But he's happy to pay even more going forward. Not sure what you have in mind. And then we hopped on a call and I just told him, hey, look, Steven, like the content's fantastic. But first off, you don't have a 9-box. That's number one. But two, you know, at the end of the day, everything is talking about the trades. You know, you can do some more educational content. Like, how does the AI bot work? When does it know to trade? And what are the pros of it? Well, maybe it's AI. It doesn't get emotional, which is typically the case with most traders. They get happy, they get sad, and they miss their trades. The AI bot always does it for you, so he can make videos talking about that. Or he can talk about, you know, I guess the new tariffs going on and how that impacts the stock market, or, you know, certain specific trades on how he always structures it to make 10K per month or whatever it is, right? And we basically just talked about that. I told him at the end of the day, you don't just want empty videos. You want to make this appeal to your target audience, who you're selling to, and actually make sure at the end of the day, you're getting sales and not just optimizing for views. And he really liked that strategy. I mean, he just said like, yeah, I wasn't even really thinking about that. I was just posting like what I'm currently up to every day, what kind of trades I'm making, like what stocks I'm looking at. And I was like, yeah, that's great. But how can we make this more applicable to the people who are buying from you? And that's when I just saw like a light bulb go off in his head. And we had the call for 20 minutes. You can see right there. And he paid me $500 because he just really appreciated the expertise. So that's pretty much it, guys. 1.7K plus $500 is $2,200. And it took me roughly 47 minutes. If you want to be super technical, maybe 50. But I think that's pretty good. And you now understand how it works. At the end of the day, people want sales. And you can be paid really high amounts just from your expertise and your strategy. Because a typical video editor, it would take him how long to make 2.2K? Probably like a month or like 3 weeks, because you have to edit the content and that takes 15 hours a day. Versus the strategy, it's not physical labor, but it has more leverage. And the people that are actually making the most money, they have leverage, not actually focusing on their output. It's like with anything in life, do billionaires go and make stuff, or do they just like move stuff around? They know what to do, they know the right strategy, and it just plays out for them. How the world works, guys. But essentially, now to keep my promise on what's next, how can you guys replicate this? I have a full 2025 content operating guide for you guys. It's completely free, and pretty much this is the system. Number one is to learn how to make content that actually converts, and it actually just doesn't take a genius to do this. I have examples right here of how Mr. Beast just copies winning formulas, but then makes it more in a format for his audience, how I've done it, how I've shown my clients to do it. I also have an AI hook generator that just gives you the video idea and the hook the first 3 seconds, which is the most important scroll stopping part of the whole video, and how to organize the entire thing with an IG content pipeline, a DM tracker, how to do the actual outreach so you can land clients like Dan. Once again, 9box aesthetics, some really good examples, some not so good examples, and even video editors who are just going to do the work for you. So I have all of this laid out. That's number one. Number two is selecting a niche, because how do you expect to be the best content operator in soccer, basketball, football, lacrosse, cricket, tennis? It's impossible. You got to pick one sport and be the best at it, like Mike Tyson, like Cristiano Ronaldo. You guys get the point. And then how to actually land these clients via the sniper approach, because a common beginner mistake is that people just go and they send 100 DMs a day and say, well, Emil, through volume, I can just land a client. Volume negates luck. But the problem is, if you're doing something wrong, doing it more times doesn't make it right. It's still wrong. So if you don't have the right strategy, you're going to get cooked. You're not going to actually land a huge client. And then once again, the social hacking strategy is actually looking like an authority with the 9box. And that's pretty much it, guys. The last thing is just outsourcing the work to a quality video editor. I'm just going to hand over to you right here. This is actually my journey. But if you want the full guide, it's a full hour long. It's completely free, guys. I'll link it down below. First link in the description. And I hope this video was helpful. The goal of my channel is to provide as much value as possible on content operating and motivation to my younger self. So I imagine a lot of you guys would benefit from that. Appreciate you. Drop a sub on the video and let me know if you want more videos like this. I'll see you guys next week.